Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Se Vuelve Podcast. My name is Monica, and I want to thank you for being here. For this week's episode, I'm going to be giving you a little bit of what I'm going to refer to a placeholder episode. And in case you don't know what a placeholder is, I looked up the definition for you. A placeholder is something that temporarily marks or fills a space, often until a more permanent or specific item is available. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. Today is actually Wednesday. You guys know that my episodes tend to come out on Thursday. I haven't really been able to sit down to record anything. Or more specifically, I think I made the decision to kind of step away from like sitting down and recording and even editing because I guess the recording part is not really the difficult part. Well, it is when it is myself because it's hard for me to keep on task. I guess the difficult part is like the post production, the editing, right? And especially if it's a longer episode. Even if the episode's like 17 minutes, mind you, I always tend to cut down a lot. Like I could record for like 30 minutes or longer, but then cut out some of the nonsense, some of the blabbering, some of the where I got off topic. Editing takes a lot of hours, anywhere from 4 to 6, 8, depending on the length, right? It's funny because my friend Blanca referred to it as a labor of love. This podcast is a labor of love, is a passion project because I'm the one that does everything, right? Which I enjoy. I very much enjoy the recording. I very much enjoy the editing. It becomes a lot when you're just like sitting and looking at a screen. I think last week I recorded the episode on Monday. I was done editing by Tuesday because I started editing right after on Monday into Tuesday. And then I also did the trailer as well, which is like another edit, but that one's a little bit quicker. And then after that, I was like, I think I need a break, which I very much enjoyed because I mostly like spent time with family and also I started to go outside, which is something that's really huge for me because I think I told you guys that 5 years ago during the pandemic, I was walking like all the time, like, and we're talking about multiple times a day. So I spent the last week kind of going on a couple walks a day, being out in the sun, taking the dogs for a walk, which they are loving it. And I'm also loving it because it's the summer. And those that know me know that the summer is my type of weather. It's when I thrive. And it's August. It made me sad because obviously with the stuff that went down in June and the stress of that, and then coming into July where I was still kind of dealing with some things, I got to a point where I was like, my summer flew and I haven't really spent a lot of time in nature and like taking in the sun. Obviously, we know that I'm from the Midwest, from Illinois, right? And we will end up getting a couple months where it's going to be cold, it's going to be cloudy, there's not going to be very much sun. I hope to kind of keep up the routine that I did have a couple years ago where I was walking in the fall in some of that cold weather. Not when I think when it would get to below like 30, 20, then I couldn't. It was like too cold for me. Or if there was like a lot of snow that it would kind of like block the sidewalks, I wouldn't be able to go out to walk. And you just never know what like ends up happening. And also I don't know what my schedule is going to look like. I always tell my friends and some of the teachers that I'm always looking for other opportunities. I am in a point right now where there's like a big transitional period for me, specifically with my career. I want to get serious. I want to find something that brings me joy and passion. I'm always on the lookout for that. I say that because everything is up in the air. I'm having a hard time with everything that I've been going through, kind of like sitting down to do this because I'm trying to spend as much time as I can outside in this nice weather with family and the dogs. I will say this like because I'm very proud. I'm able to walk two dogs at once right now. I used to only walk my dog because she's a pretty good walker. My family, because she's a barker, she's a little sassy little barker, and my family gets annoyed with her because of that. But she's a very good dog, smart dog, and I got lucky with her because during the pandemic, all of a sudden I'm gonna go out for walks, right? And I just took her with me, and she's a very good walker. So I got very lucky with her. A couple years later, in 2023, they got the smaller, fluffy white dog. She's younger. She's now what, like 2? And when I used to try to take her out before, she was not a good, like, she would want to play. So she would like me attacking my dog, and then it'd be like a little bit of a dog rumble, right? Playing around. And I was like, I'm just trying to walk. I'm just trying to get my steps in. But I've been like kind of recording little videos of them walking side by side. I'm so like so happy and so proud that of that little accomplishment for them. And I feel good because I'm like, oh, I could really walk 2 or 3 dogs if they were like walking like this, you know. That's mostly what I've been doing for like the last week. Actually, yesterday I ended up going to a substitute teacher training. It actually went really well. It was led by 2 HR ladies that were former, I believe they said they were like former principals. And it was nice because in the survey that they sent out last year, I basically spoke about why is this meeting being led by 2 HR people or secretaries. Well, I think one was like an HR person, the other one was like a secretary or something, right? I said, that have no clue what a classroom is like, right? So we would say things, but she was just like, I don't know because I'm not qualified or whatever to be in the classroom. I literally said that. I'm like, why is this meeting being led by individuals that don't know what the like heck goes on in a classroom? So it was an interesting experience to like go to that. They always have like a presentation, but this time around they made us participate more. And this was like a almost like a 4 hour ordeal or so, or a little bit less than 4 hours. But still, for us to be kind of like sitting there and having people go up and, you know, explain this, explain that. If I had to give like my feedback, I think that meeting was beneficial for like newcomers, but I don't know how necessarily beneficial it was for people that have been doing this for a while. And I also want to say that those 2 individuals, like the ones leading it, it was nice, but also those were individuals that had no experience with like the junior high level, which I tend to do. And actually, the people that were sitting with me that I know, they go sub 4 junior high school. So a lot of the stuff that they were referring to was like elementary, this, and that. And we're like, that doesn't pertain to me or like or us. But it was interesting. It's a paycheck. We get paid for that training. This is going to be a little bit of a short episode so that I can get it out on schedule. And I tried to do that yesterday and I didn't have the energy. All I wanted to do yesterday was just kind of chill. But then also I want to get my steps and go out for my little walks, which is what I did, guys. And sometimes that's like your little reminder that please, if you are tired, if you are burnt out, please take a moment if you're able to have maybe like a day of like not doing anything, even though like I said, a lot of my couple days, I always say like, I do not, no, I do things throughout my day, like I'm productive or whatever, right? But they're more chill, more low energy. So if you can have a day to just chill, be low energy day, sometimes all I want to do is read, like literally. I think that's what I told my friend yesterday. I said, all I want to do is like, kind of sit down and read my book or watch some TV. And that's kind of what I did yesterday after that. A little bit of an update for the last week, this little placeholder episode, just so that, you know, we can keep with our goal, because I do very much enjoy doing this podcast. As always, I just want to say thank you to anyone who tunes in to listen. I would appreciate if you could leave a review and would be grateful if you could let me know what information resonated with you. Please follow and share on social media. The pages are at Se Vuelve Podcast or my personals at Se Vuelve Monica. Once again, thank you so much for listening. Nos vemos pronto. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.